If you've ever wondered if you should have some sort of security system on your motorcycle, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, we did a motorcycle trip to Denver, Colorado to see a concert at Red Rocks Amphitheater with our dear friends, Gary and Phyllis. A few hours before the show, we ran to the local Walmart right there on Colfax Avenue to pick up some supplies for the evening. I mean, middle of the day, nice neighborhood. But when we came out, Gary's bike wasn't parked next to mine anymore. "Dave, did you move my bike?" I did not. That's not cool, man. So here we are, over 500 miles from home, and Gary's bike had been nicked. Now what? So check this out. The Monimoto 9 is a small battery-powered GPS tracker that is so clever you'd think it was designed specifically for motorcycles. It's not your typical blaring alarm system or full-time live tracker hooked up to the bike's electrical system. Instead, it works quietly in the background. This is the device we hide on the bike, and this is a key fob that you keep on your person. If someone tries to move your bike without the key fob nearby, it won't just send you a text message that's easy to miss. It'll call your phone and let you know what's up. Pretty slick, right? The device itself charges with USB-C, and the battery can last up to a year. But I suspect that's probably closer to 6 months depending on temperatures or how often you forget to grab the key fob to move your bike in the garage. But more on that in a second. The fob itself uses a CR2032 watch battery, and it should last upwards of 2 years. Now, once you install the app and get everything paired together, a cool feature is you'll get a daily text message giving you the status of your system, including battery charge. So forgetting about the system and ending up with a dead battery is unlikely. The on-bike device itself is IP68 waterproof. 6 means dirt and dust, and 8 means submergible in fresh water for up to 30 minutes. It uses an internal eSIM to phone you in the event it detects movement, and then sends its current GPS location to the app on your phone every few minutes. And according to the guys at Monimoto, it's capable of keeping track and sending you its location for several days before the battery dies. Now think about it for a second. If you were a dirty, rotten, filthy, low-life, scum-of-the-earth crook who would steal someone's motorcycle, where's the first place you'd look for an alarm or a tracker? Under the seat or attached directly to the battery, right? So don't stash it in the first place that you'd look. I mean, that's pretty much a key feature, right? It's harder to detect because you can't just trace the wires back to the device. But also, don't bury it too deep in the bike behind metal or too close to the engine because you want it to get a good GPS signal. Ideally, find a place that's inconspicuous, odd, and out of the way. And because the thing is good and watertight, you don't have to worry about placing it someplace where there might be a lot of spray from the tires should you get caught out in the rain. In scouring locations across the multistrada, I think the ideal place to put it would... Wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't post my secret hiding spot on a giant social media platform. Find an obscure spot and maybe don't tell anybody where that is. Now, in doing research for this video, it turns out that what a lot of bike thieves are doing nowadays, thanks to these kinds of trackers, is they'll nick the bike and then rather than taking it back to their secret lair, they'll go park it in a public place to see if anyone turns up. So if you're paying attention, with a little bit of luck, you might be able to quickly reclaim your bike. So I know what you're thinking, why not just get an AirTag? And indeed, AirTags are slick, but AirTags have one fatal flaw that all the baddies who want to steal your bike are aware of. You see, AirTags just use Bluetooth to talk to other iPhones around it, so all a baddie has to do is use their iPhone and they'll get alerted that there's an unfamiliar AirTag following them, and they'll know to stop and look for the tag so they can get it off the bike. When this device sees this device, the system is disarmed. It basically turns itself off, which is how they get such long battery life. But when this device doesn't see this device, it arms itself, and any movement will prompt the phone call. I'd recommend testing the system yourself a bunch of times so you can add the different Monimoto phone numbers to your contacts and make sure they are never silenced. But the big question I had was how long it takes before it calls you. So I'm going to steal my motorcycle, and we're going to see for ourselves. So what could be improved? There's no such thing as a perfect product. What am I not crazy about? First is I get the key fob idea. It's pretty clever. If your bike has a traditional key, it's not great. I never put anything extra on my motorcycle key because I don't want anything bouncing around and scratching up the triple clamp. And on some bikes, it may even be scratching the paint. It makes a little bit more sense with a remote key like this, but even then it's still kind of in the way when I open the gas cap, and I find I end up just putting this in my jacket pocket. But then I forget and I grab a different jacket and the system goes off. And speaking of, all the time I come into the garage and I move the bikes around to tape a video, and yeah, the system alerts and I get a phone call, which is why my battery life I suspect will be closer to 6 months because I'm not good at key fobs. Now, a few other things to be aware of is say you're into a little bit of touring and you're staying in the night at a Motor Inn. Your fob is probably close enough to the bike to keep it disarmed. Now, if it's stolen, eventually it'll lose sight of the fob and alert, but that just costs you some precious time. You might want to consider getting a Faraday bag, which you should have anyway if any of your vehicles use a remote key like this. That way, even if you're parked just a few feet away, the system will alert immediately. And the other bummer is this is another monthly subscription. Now, right now, the device is retailing for $169 and requires a $49 annual subscription. I mean, that's less than $5 a month, but still another subscription to keep track of. Now, to be fair, compared to getting your bike stolen when you're a state away and have no good way to get back home, it's a pittance, really. And right now, until the end of the month, they're running a spring sale where you can save an extra $20 or 15 British pounds or 20 euros, but only until the end of the month. So if you're considering one of these, now's an ideal time to grab one. So to wrap things up, listen, I turn down reviews all the time for devices that require me to wire the device into the bike's electrical system. Bikes are getting so much more complicated these days, I simply don't want to cut into it. So I really love the simplicity of the Monimoto 9. In my testing, it's worked great, sometimes too great, thwarting my own attempts to move my own motorcycle, but that ultimately gives me a lot of peace of mind. Having had to personally deal with the unbelievable stress and anxiety of not only getting stranded, but having a beloved item stolen, having something like this that would have allowed me to respond immediately and dramatically increase the chances of recovery, yeah, that's worth $170 to me. So a big thank you to Monimoto for supporting this channel by sponsoring this video, which is hugely helpful for everything that we do here. If you're looking for some added security, check out the Monimoto. Links are in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Ride on and ride well.